When they approach the big deal store, it doesn't look very big, so Jack stays outside and sits down to try translating the etching of the magical runes he had taken.
Get me a snack if there are any.
The others enter to see that this is no ordinary door. They appear to have been transported to another realm, and before them they see miles upon miles of 200-foot-tall shelves, filled with goods, all neatly organized. A store attendant greets them and uses a large tome to direct them to the aisles they want. There is an aisle for shoes, an aisle for potions, an aisle for scrolls, an aisle for hot dogs, an aisle for miniature houses, and a desk at the back of the store for customer service.
The customer service desk is where you can sell anything you have on you, but you may want to rent a horse to get there quickly. Over here we have the entertainment aisle. It is mostly elephants right now, but we have some performing horses as well.
How do you stay in stock for everything?
Asks Elsa.
The portal up there drops things out of it, and we put them on the shelves.
You don't even have to pay for it. You must be making a huge profit.
Says Elsa.
Well, the portals do have an operational cost, and we have doors to many different towns. Employees only, though. Customers have to enter and leave from the same door.
The pilgrims split up and each search for what they want. Robin climbs a shoe shelf to find some ice-climbing shoes, only to find they are on the opposite shelf. Instead of going down and back up, she leaps to the other shelf 10 feet away and manages to hold on and get the shoes. Bjorn heads to the hot dog aisle and gets into an argument with the store attendant, saying that there are tens of thousands of hot dogs on this shelf and they can't possibly sell them all before they go bad, considering we haven't seen any other customers since we came in. The attendant explains that the cook makes them fresh every day and they disappear overnight if there are any left over. Kator asks about how the portal works, and the store attendant says that you can put things into it to make other things come out.
I once put my son in there, and one of these elephants popped out.
Shocked, Kator asks.
Your son? But why would you do that?
He glances up to the top of the ladder where the portal is, and then turns back, but the attendant is gone. Kator climbs up the ladder, intent on getting rid of the extra swords in his backpack and hoping to get something nice in return. At the top of the ladder, he shoves various rapiers, scimitars, goblin weapons, javelins, and a great sword into the portal, which expands to take whatever he puts in. After each grouping of items, he waits with his arms held out and gets something. First a bag of coins, then a goat transportation sack, a mysterious red egg, and then a terrified-looking small human child. Kator notices a strange necklace on the boy and takes it while trying to calm the boy down. The child screams about how the necklace allowed him to breathe on the other side of the portal, and about how his father put him up there, so Kator is his new father. Kator, unable to respond to that, climbs down the ladder in silence, carrying the child and putting him down on the floor. Before he can react, the child runs away and darts in between aisles.
That doesn't make any sense. I thought he wanted to stay with me.
Kator says to himself, before examining the ground around the ladder to see a few more items that had fallen out of the portal. He tosses away a Nothic eye, but keeps two other eyes that he can't immediately identify, a few copper coins and a large purple feather.
Hey, what you looking at?
Asks Elsa, making Kator jump a little.
You're here, but I thought you went off to another aisle. I was just putting things into the portal to see what would come out. I got this purple feather, and there was a small boy, but he ran off as soon as we got to the bottom of the ladder.
Kator says, thinking to himself that Elsa is never this stealthy. She has never snuck up on him before.
Well, I got what I wanted. Where do you need to go next?
Asks Elsa, strangely enthusiastically.
Potions are next on my list.
Says Kator, beginning to be suspicious. When they get to the potion aisle, Elsa makes a strange forced smile that almost looks like her mouth is too big for her head. Kator is immediately haunted by images of mimic treasure chests opening their mouths and revealing rows of jagged teeth.
Hey, we're looking for health potions. Why don't you check over there, and I'll check over here. We'll cover more ground that way.
Suggests Kator, hoping to get some distance between him and the potential danger. As Elsa walks away, Kator can see the legs don't move properly, and her hips definitely don't swing like they usually do. Something is definitely strange, and he casts Hunter's Mark on her. When she climbs up to get a bottle from a shelf, Kator notices she climbs almost in a spider-like way. She always climbs quickly, but never looking like that.
I think I got one.
She yells.
What does the label say?
Kator shouts back.
I can't read it.
Elsa replies. With that, Kator runs as fast as he can away, keeping his concentration on the mark so he will recognize the creature if it shows up again. He gets to the hot dog aisle as Bjorn shouts at the store attendant.
One lady can't cook 10,000 hot dogs in a day.
Bjorn, we've got a problem. I think there is a shape changer acting like Elsa. She was acting really strangely. Her mouth was too big. She didn't walk normally, and said she couldn't read. I think we might be under attack.
Says Kator. As the store attendant tries to calm them down, Jack turns the corner and walks toward them with an awkward step. Just as he says hello, Kator gets a message from the real Jack saying,
Hey, you guys have been gone for hours. I'm hungry. Do they sell snacks or not?
Kator uses the spell to return the message.
We're under attack from shape changers. Come inside to the hot dog aisle.
Kator recognizes his hunter's mark on the imposter Jack and shoots an arrow which tears off an ear and a section of cheek before the form of the creature shifts and changes to that of Perrin.
Ow, that really hurt!
Reveal yourself, imposter!
Shouts Kator, tensing his bow for another shot. The creature reveals itself to have blue skin and yellow eyes and stands about the same height as the wood elf.
Stop!
Bjorn says,
Kator, did this thing attack you?
Well, no, not yet. But it was getting really close and it had a lot of teeth.
Then maybe you overreacted again, like the nutmeg incident?
Kator's grip relaxes a bit, and his arms begin to shake slightly.
You, imposter. Why were you impersonating Elsa and Jack and Perrin? Were you the little boy I carried down from the portal? How did you know what Jack looks like if you've never seen him? He just sent me a message. I know he was still outside the building before you appeared as him. My father was killed by a shape changer. Don't impersonate my friends.
The doppelganger shifts again, this time becoming Kator's father, but younger than he was at death. Kator steps back several feet and tenses his bow again.
Stop that right now or I'll kill you.
Bjorn speaks up.
Please, both of you just calm down, and let's talk about this.
The doppelganger reverts to his true form as Elsa walks up.
Elsa, this guy was disguising himself as you. What do you think we should do with him?
Asks Kator, relaxing his grip again. Then the doppelganger changes shape into Elsa again, this time with noticeably larger breasts.
Is that really necessary?
Asks Elsa. The store attendant then clubs the fake Elsa on the head and says,
I'll take care of this.
and drags her by the ankle away and around a corner. Jack arrives and Kator verifies he does not have a hunter's mark on him. The pilgrims then head together toward the scroll aisle where they meet up with Robin. As Jack examines the scrolls and is dismayed to find they are mostly blank, the adventurers are approached by an old woman. She explains that she is the true owner of the store and she is a powerful witch that created the portals to the various towns as well as the portal where the items come from. The group are able to convince her to teach Jack and Perrin some wizarding skills, and she directs the others toward the trainer aisle. Kator mentions the doppelganger infestation, which seems to include all the people who appeared as store attendants, mice and birds within the store. The witch conjures a massive mousetrap and uses magic to levitate it over to one of the aisles.
If you can shoo a few of them out of the store, I can offer some gold in return, but the training will still cost you.
Robin and Kator attempt to hunt a few of the doppelgangers, but after several hours with only one successful shooing out the door, Kator gives up and heads to the trainer aisle. Bjorn takes a 10% tithe of the party loot from Chum Bucket's lair and donates it to the local church. Kator convinces him to donate the sum in entirely silver coins, plus some copper for the rounding. Robin dresses up as a teddy bear and puts a doll on the floor of an aisle, luring the doppelgangers to pick it up and put it on a shelf. When one arrives in the form of a bird and transforms, she leaps and grapples its leg. She continually asks it to train her how to be sneaky, but it insists it does not know how to teach. After several hours of why, because, and why not, because, the doppelganger transforms into a mouse and escapes. Robin finally heads over to the trainer aisle. At the trainer aisle, they each find an elderly trainer sitting on the shelf. Their physical strength and agility may have waned in their old age, but their skills and expertise are plenty to train the pilgrims of four. The adventurers spend 3 days training, except for Bjorn, who performs community service in the town outside the store and returns inside to sleep in a tent in the camping aisle. Having recovered from his diarrheic sickness and having completed his wizard training, Perrin explores the big deal, looking for an animal companion. At first, he searches for penguins, but after finding a crate labeled Cold Boys and opening it to find frozen frogs, he decided to go with his second choice, an elephant. One of the doppelgangers says that the only elephant for sale is very aggressive and difficult to control. Kator overhears this and tries to convince Perrin to go with something smaller, something that wouldn't be able to kill them by accident. Perrin's third choice for a pet is a Komodo dragon, which isn't a dragon at all, but actually a large venomous lizard.
I can help with that.
Announces a voice from directly behind Perrin, causing him to jump slightly. Another doppelganger, as stealthy and creepy as ever. Kator helps search the animal aisle, while Perrin goes back and forth between the rock aisle and the front desk, constantly being redirected to customer service, which is over 4,500 aisles away from the front desk. Kator finds a mostly harmless large lizard and decides
I can tell Perrin this is a Komodo dragon.
the pilgrims of four meet up in the rock aisle and Kator has a 4-foot-long lizard held aloft. He offers it to Perrin, who initially rejects it, but when Kator lifts it over his shoulders and rests it on the back of his neck, Perrin gets a bit jealous and demands to be given the lizard. Kator lifts it and drapes it around Perrin's shoulders, and it affectionately licks his face. As it adjusts its balance, its claws dig into Perrin's skin and draw blood. Perrin, feeling the stress of being trapped in this strangely claustrophobic yet unimaginably huge building, suffers a mental break and gives up on everything.
Kator, I have to leave this store. I can't take it anymore.
Shouts Perrin.
Can I give you a list and you can pick up some things for me?
Sure thing. It'll take a few hours to pick up that wheelbarrow you filled with rocks and get the rest of the stuff on this list, but I can do it.
Says Kator. Jack rubs his palms together, making them glow slightly, and casts both Long Strider and Expeditious Retreat on Kator.
I finally get to use some utility spells. Run like the wind, Cater.
With the magically enhanced speed, Kator is able to complete Perrin's errands in record time, including some glass bottles of acid from a high shelf. Kator tricked a doppelganger into climbing the shelf for him by asking how people normally get things from up there. The doppelganger tossed down several jars of acid, and Kator caught most of them, but some dropped onto the floor and one smashed on his head. Luckily, he had picked up a jar of grape juice earlier while looking for acid at ground level, and pouring it on himself counteracted the effect of the acid and saved his hunter's cap and hair. At the front desk, the elderly witch, owner of the store, tells him the lizard's name is Jeff, and that it was the only lizard they had for sale. Before leaving, Kator thanks her for all her help and writes down her name in his journal, Madam Bryce Tagg. Outside, Nix's frog swallows Jeff whole, despite Jeff being 10 times the size of Worm. Robin tries to speak using ribbits and croaks, but Worm doesn't release the lizard. Robin then reaches inside Worm's mouth and drags Jeff out, but he isn't moving and is starting to turn purple. Jack remembers how poisonous Worm is and casts Resist Poison on Robin and Jeff, curing the lizard and allowing it to breathe again. Kator arrives partway through the struggle and remarks that Worm seems to be dangerous both when in other people's mouths and when things go in its mouth. However, Nix can't remember the time when Worm killed that psychologically damaged civilian barely over a week ago. The others wonder if Nix is suppressing the horrific memory or if the drugs he smokes have damaged his memory. Perrin begins to concoct a scheme with the rocks, asking Elsa and Jack to assist in shaping the rocks into small discs. Nix says if they are shaping rocks, he wants a penis-shaped rock. Elsa hesitantly agrees, and Nix darts off running into town without another word. He returns a few minutes later, dragging a human male by the penis and instructing Elsa to make it look like this, including the balls. The pilgrims are a bit offended at the kidnapping, especially Bjorn, and they send the man home with a few gold as an apology. Nix cries for a bit, but the others console him by saying that a bunch of their group have penises and they can make a stone penis for Nix. Jack uses magic to make a very large and very wide rock penis with balls and hands it to Nix. He promptly shoves it in his pants and smiles. Bjorn tells Nix to go inside the carriage and think about what he did.